Well, hello and welcome to Brave Beaters. Today I have the pleasure to introduce you to the Certina DS Chronograph, a beautiful surprise from Certina that sent this watch for review, and I wanted to let them know that I'm really grateful for this collaboration. But the truth is, who else can put so much passion in these Certina reviews if not Brave Beaters? So let's see this beauty. DS. The double security system invented by Certina has a history of over 62 years. Initially implemented in the DS2 models, as a proof of quality, these models are even today clean and reliable pieces, created to be durable and long-lasting. So when you see the turtle on the case back, you'll know what to expect. And even today, this system is successfully implemented into the wristwatches, starting with the Aqua collection until the heritage models, wristwatches with stories and history behind. And today there is no exception. I am proud to present you the Certina DS Chronograph, a beautiful automatic chronograph reissued after a mysterious model from the 40s, with roots from World War II. This is a courageous reissue from the brand, knowing that you don't see resurrected models from those days too often. This chronograph was launched a couple of months ago alongside the beautiful automatic diver, the DS Action Diver, a 38mm watch that sits at the border of a modern diver watch and a classic diver, the sizing helping in this regard. And as first impressions, when I picked it up, I said, wow. This is an impressive piece and something that I've never experienced before, because it brings a lot of design culture from the chronographs made starting with the 30s. The designs from those days having a lot of emphasis on technical dials with a lot of circles and graduations, having extra features besides the classic tachymeter scale that measures the speed. There is the telemeter scale that measures the distance from a phenomenon that is both visible and audible, for instance a lightning storm. It was also used by soldiers observing artillery, so a useful tool in the war. This bicompax chronograph, unlike the vintage model, it is scaled up in size, this one having presence on the wrist, but I consider it a welcomed presence, and I will explain why. If the complexity and the detailing of the indexes were scaled down in size, everything would have looked less deeper, more faded, simpler, but common. Where this DS chronograph, having that romantic classic appearance, scaled up, ensures enough space to fit all those details, offering to the viewer a scaled up overview, and that is emphasized by the boxed sapphire that ensures a domed but a maximum legibility from a wider angle, but in the same time keeping the refinement and the luxurious aspect, sending me to the thought of the German white enameled designs, and here I would dare to say Glasute Original or Langenzone. These qualities transforming the watch into a daily beater on the wrist. It does not necessarily need to be worn as a dressy piece, even though it comes with an elegant crocodile strap with a butterfly clasp. And as general specifications, the watch measures 42mm in diameter, with a lug-to-lug distance of 51mm by my measurements, and between the lugs measuring 21mm. This solution was taken to balance the watch, to coexist in harmony with the actual case size. From the side we are looking at a height of 13.9mm, and here we can spot the important percentage of the crystal that occupies the side of the case. Again, this is an important detail that shows us how great the chronographs were made back then. I also love the two-states appearance of the dial. In low lights conditions, the watch turns black and white, where the lights unveils us the beautiful blue color of the hands and the tachymeter accents. This chronograph is twice beautiful. Firstly, this is a dial that offers to the viewer a handsome layout with bicompact subdials and beautiful blue accents that contrast the white dial on sunlight. On the macro level, there is where I personally spent a lot of time to capture all those facets and indexes applied. This is a dial where you have a lot to see and wonder how they managed to apply the indexes correctly and clean. The white surface stands out through embossed spaces, accents and angles. So the dial itself is curved towards the end as the vintage models were made. On the 3 and 9 o'clock we have the two embossed subdials with concentric circles, and on top there is a layer of black and blue accents that forms the markers. The tachymeters in blue and the telemeter scale in black. And at every 10 minutes we have placed the arrows or the torch metal indexes that adds personality to the dial, reminding me of Thomas the train. Still, a thing that amazes me are the truncated metal indexes, because they seem amazingly hard to place them on the border of the subdials. The entire surface is balanced at 12 o'clock by the old Certina logo, where at 6 o'clock we have the beautiful automatic printed font that complements the intent of this chronograph. And the piece of log resistance that adds character to the dial is definitely the contrast added by the beautiful polished blue hands, placed strategically on the layout, succeeding to communicate very well with the tachymeter scale. The chronometer and the minute hands are curved, following the dial surface, creating a beautiful effect when the chronograph is angled. And the boxed sapphire crystal helps in this regard. I think the drastic curvature of the crystal creates distorted angles for the hands and for the side scales, and I did enjoy that when I was trying to capture the right angle from the side. The 360L stainless steel case complements and outlines the white dial. The angles are flowing very well towards the thin lugs, ensuring once again that classic 40s design principles, where back in the days the focus was on the main ring that hugs the dial, the lugs having a secondary role to be tied up to the leather strap. From the side we're spotting a thin brushed facet that flows towards the entire side case, where on the right hand side is interrupted by the rectangular pushers and the beautiful oversized crown that calibrates the overall proportion of the watch. So this was an accent that I enjoyed a lot. So the signed crown is as it should be. It's not a screw down, but ensures a water resistance of 100 meters thanks to the DS technology. The overall height of the watch is smart balanced, enough to fit the tall caliber A05 H31, and to keep the height of the watch under 14mm, the case back is flowing beautiful, continuing the profile of the case. And if you like this video so far, please consider subscribing to the channel for future creative updates, because I'm here weekly posting new updates. On the case back, the faceted indexes of the dial can be found as a motif on the back of the case. I associate them with leaves, but I'm pretty sure they have a specific meaning which I failed to discover. But what is certain, the center of the case being signed by the old Certina logo. And movement wise, the Certina DS Chronograph Automatic is powered by a modern self-winding movement, the caliber A05H31, which is an ETA 7753. Its balance wheel incorporates an anti-magnetic silicone hairspring and it beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour, with an increased power reserve of 60 hours. This watch is complemented by a black crocodile leather strap, tapering from 20mm to 17 by my measurements, closed by a polished butterfly clasp signed by the brand. The strap features a practical quick release function that is meant to remove the strap quicker and not destroy the leather by inserting tools to remove the spring bars. This is a versatile watch, in my opinion, a classic design that can be worn from a patina olive NATO to a brown leather strap. And as for how it wears, again a presence on the wrist, but it does not wear like a 42mm case. The cryptic design helps in this regard, from the side case becoming smaller towards the crystal. Also the case back helps in this regard, helping the watch to stay buried on the wrist. And to conclude, the older chronographs were created as tools giving the ability to use the chronograph functions besides showing the time. Back then there were not so many watch types, as tools or divers, even dressy pieces. And I think this watch today serves the exact purpose, as the inherited model, as an elegant but versatile tool watch for an everyday use, everything ensured by the durability and the heritage of Certina. This Certina DS Chronograph will remain as a target for me to purchase in 2021, which leads to the internal debate where I should keep the Hamilton Intramatic chronograph or replace it with this World War II reissue. And I think this is a theme for another video to compare these two beauties. But most important, the Certina DS Chronograph qualifies as the 20th Brave Beater on the channel, because the brand offers us today outstanding reissues, safe and durable timekeepers with meaning and history behind. And what scares me, Certina has tons of amazing divers and chronographs to reissue in the future. You can take a look at the vintage certinas.ch to understand more about the Certina stories and their collections. So guys, these are my thoughts on this Certina DS Chronograph. I enjoyed a lot the experience and the chance to capture the beauty of this piece for a few weeks. In the end, I want to thank Certina once again for sending this piece for review, and I'm looking forward for a future collaboration, because I'm aiming that 38mm DS Action Diver. So guys, that was it for today. Hope you enjoyed this video, and as usual, if you want to subscribe to the channel, that'll be more than amazing. But if not, I'll be seeing you next week anyway. And until then, be brave, but stay safe.